She walked away. The morning was colder than usual. Emma sat on the edge of the bed, the soft fabric of her sweater gathered in her hands. She stared at the floor, her mind quiet but heavy. Around her, the room felt like a museum of what once was. Framed photos that no longer held joy. Books they bought together now collecting dust. A coffee mug with a crack she never bothered to fix. Everything inside these four walls whispered stories she no longer wanted to hear. Lucas slept on the other side of the bed, turned away from her, like he had been for months. She had memorized the curve of his back, the way he sighed in his sleep, the distance that had grown so wide she could no longer cross it. Emma's heart ached. But this time, there was no confusion, only clarity. Some endings don't come with a fight. Some endings arrive in silence, and this was one of them. She stood up slowly, careful not to wake him. Her suitcase waited by the door, packed the night before when she finally accepted the truth. She was no longer loved here. Or maybe she was, in a way that wasn't enough. And Emma knew she deserved more than almost love, more than half-hearted promises. She deserved to be chosen, every day, not just when it was convenient. Her fingers trembled as she grabbed the handle. She looked back one last time, not at Lucas, but at the girl she used to be inside this house. The one who waited, the one who stayed. Emma smiled sadly. She wasn't that girl anymore. Without a sound, she pulled the door open and stepped into the cool morning air, the suitcase rolling softly behind her. The city was still waking up. Streetlights flickered against the gray sky. Emma walked without knowing exactly where she was going. Every step away from that house felt like shedding a second skin. She crossed the park where they had their first kiss, past the bakery where they once laughed over burnt croissants. Memories tried to cling to her, but Emma kept walking. She wasn't angry. She wasn't broken. She was simply done. Healing, she realized, isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's a woman walking away with nothing but a suitcase and her own heart stitched back together by her own hands. Hours later, Emma found herself in a small coffee shop she had never noticed before. Warm light spilled from the windows, and the smell of fresh bread filled the air. She stepped inside, drawn by something she couldn't explain. Mr. Evans, the owner, smiled kindly at her from behind the counter. Without thinking, Emma ordered a coffee and sat by the window. She watched people pass by, their lives moving forward. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she could move too. She didn't have a plan. She didn't have certainty. But she had herself, and that was enough. As she sipped her coffee, Emma pulled out her notebook. Pages and pages of unsent letters, poems she was too scared to share, dreams she once tucked away. She flipped to a fresh page and simply wrote, "Today, I chose myself." The words weren't fancy, They weren't even perfectly written, but they were true. And sometimes, truth is the most beautiful thing we can offer ourselves. The sun began to break through the clouds, casting golden light across the small cafe. Emma closed her eyes for a moment, breathing in the smell of coffee and fresh starts. She didn't know what the next chapter of her life would look like. She only knew she was ready to turn the page, because walking away wasn't giving up. It wasn't failure. It was bravery. It was love. The kind you give yourself when no one else knows how to. And so, with a heart still healing but stronger than ever, Emma stood up, tucked her notebook under her arm, and stepped back onto the street. She wasn't the same girl who had walked away hours ago. She was someone new, someone free, someone alive. And for the first time, Emma didn't just hope for happiness. She believed she deserved it, and that was enough. If Emma's new beginning has touched your heart, imagine what comes next. A love story full of passion, risks, and dreams. Don't turn away now. Subscribe to the channel and join Emma's journey. Press the bell so you never miss a heartbeat. And get ready, because her story is just beginning. See you in the next episode.